Sawadika, Your Excellency.
สวัสดีค่ะ
We would like to ask you about the Philippine cuisine. Can you give your opinion in general about the Philippine cuisine?
As you know, our country is composed of so many islands. So there are so many different varieties of food that you can find. So the food in the north is different from the food from the central Philippines and the southern Philippines. There are some dishes, of course, that are common to all of us, which are national in popularity. But with the modern communication and transportation system, now you can find the food of various provinces and towns everywhere, actually. What I'd say is that one of the major features of Filipino food is derived from the fact that we are an island country. So we like a lot of seafood. We like a lot of fish, a lot of crustaceans, which are amply available around our islands. For those traditionally in the hinterlands, they ate, of course, a lot of chicken and pork. But even those who live out near the sea, we still like a lot of chicken and pork. We have a few beef dishes, but there are not as many cows as there are chicken and pigs. So the other two are, I would say, more popular in addition to the seafoods. I come from the north, this area of the Philippines. I like a lot of boiled food. We have a lot of boiled and stewed food up in the north, a lot of vegetables. In general, I think Filipinos like vegetables because that's what's easily available.
Staple food of Filipino.
Rice is the staple food. Everybody eats rice everywhere in the country, but in the in the island of Cebu here, they mix the rice with corn. So that area particularly uses a mixture of rice and corn as their staple food. Otherwise, in the rest of the country, rice is what we basically eat. Now, Filipinos eat 6 times a day: breakfast, morning merienda, lunch, afternoon merienda, dinner, and midnight merienda. Merienda is basically snack. We have a lot of fried food, boiled food. We boil a lot of our food. That probably stems from the fact that there was no refrigeration system long ago. So there was no ice used to preserve. So one of the ways to preserve is to boil. We also stew, and a lot of our stewed food dishes have vinegar because vinegar does preserve. In terms of sweets, we have a lot of sweets, many of which are rice-based or fruit-based. And in the Philippines, we grow a lot of sugar. Sugar is a major export. So we do sweeten a lot of our rice-based food and fruit-based food, which we eat as snacks. Interestingly though, we do not have really a concept, traditionally, we do not have the concept of dessert. But we eat a lot of sweets, rice-based and fruit-based, but we eat them as snack food. So we eat snacks 3 times, and we eat regular meals 3 times, and traditionally Filipinos ate rice for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
So how about the snack? What do you usually have? What is like in every snack the same or different?
Very different. Traditionally, we ate rice cakes that look like something similar to what you have actually, wrapped in various types of leaves which give flavor, and of course it has sugar. but it also has flavorings. And let's say like a jackfruit flavored, and they come in various shapes: long, round, fat, thin.
Interesting.
We also have noodles.
In which Marina, morning or
Usually the noodles come in the afternoon. But during Christmas season and the New Year, we also have noodles at midnight.
What type of noodles?
They're basically egg noodle or rice noodle.
Is it the flat one or the round one?
They're actually different. And that is of Chinese origin. The noodles are of Chinese origin. We have sotanghon, which is based on soy based, and then there's a rice based, and egg noodle type of thing. I say especially during Christmas because we have a tradition in the Catholic areas of going to church simbang gabi. That's night church, very, very early in the morning. But otherwise, before we go to sleep, we also eat.
So the food normally is a lot of vegetable.
We have a lot of vegetables,
Yes.
a lot of fish, seafood, and chicken, pork. Nowadays, more beef.
And for the noodle that you said, you use chopstick or you use something?
No, we use a spoon and fork.
Do Filipino eat together?
Oh, basically, the way we serve is family style, like Thais. We bring the food out, you choose what you want to eat, choose only what you can eat, so that we share the table as a family. As a matter of fact, many of our so-called table settings are very family-oriented. In the old days, were a lot of what we called bangko, or flat, long chairs, benches, because they were meant to be used by the family so that you eat together. In the countryside, that was used very often. In the old days, before the Spanish era, we used benches. We were a very communal society, and in any communal society, you would find that the tables are meant for socialization, and it's meant for you to be able to share not only the food, but the company and the discussion.
Any special manners or do and don't thing on the table?
Yeah, well, the standard: do not put your elbow on the table, do not talk when your mouth is full.
So in every meal, normally if you are in the family, everybody come to eat together, or?
Yes, we try as much as possible.
How about
So-
merienda also?
The merienda, people eat as they please. Nowadays, most people go to work,
Yeah.
so they take a 15 or 20-minute break to eat.
So normally the food is not spicy.
No, normally it's not spicy. The soup
Yes.
have a sour taste,
Okay.
slightly sour taste. Desserts, I mean the kakanin or the rice cakes, they tend to be sweet. In places where they produce a lot of coconut, their desserts have coconut. Their food have coconut. Their stew have coconut. This area and part of the Muslim area are the only ones that really serve hot, chili hot food.
When you say the word chili, what do you mean by chili? Is it green one or the red one?
Green or red but fresh. We use the black and white pepper for those which have more Western, have Western influence.
If I like you to name Filipino food, what is the top 5 in your mind? Like if I'm a foreigner, go to the Philippines, what do you think I must eat it?
Adobo,
Adobo.
okay. Sinigang, This one, lumpia. Lumpia is spring roll. Lumpiang sariwa. That's a fresh spring roll. And grilled seafoods. Grilled clams, grilled fish, crabs. Characteristic of Filipino food is the dipping sauces. And many of them are based on fish sauce, fish paste.
Come back to the fifth.
That would be lechon, roasted pig, roasted suckling pig. And a new invention about 20 years old is what they call prichon, which wraps this in wrapping, like the wrapper used for spring rolls.
So you have this
Yum.
In daily meal or just in some occasion?
Okay, that is a festival food.
Okay.
But nowadays, you can actually go buy it. So it has become available.
Is tradition Filipino food?
Which one?
The lechon.
The lechon? I think it has Spanish influences because you can find something similar to it in Cuba and in some of the Central American and Latin American countries. The difference between their lechon and ours is you cannot eat the skin in the Latin American ones. But that is what we like in the case of the Philippines because it's crunchy, crispy and crunchy.
And how about the festival food? Do you have another food that have just only in occasion, in special occasion?
Oh yes, we do. We do have other things. One of the things that you must always have for a birthday is what we call pancit. Basically, it's a noodle.
So if I would like to ask you, what is the dish of Philippines that very easy to cook and delicious, and every
Adobo.
people can cook adobo.
Adobo, especially because you can have adobo of different tastes.
Are you adobo lover?
Yes. And I also, for dessert or merienda, I love halo halo.
What is like an explain?
Halo halo is similar to your nam keng sai.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, but it has more things. It usually has at least a dozen different things inside.
Okay.
And because it's very hot in the Philippines, it has a lot of ice. Keeps you cool in the afternoons.
That's interesting. Already know food, already know desserts, snacks. What about drink?
There are a variety of drinks from different parts of the country. So we have a drink called sago at gulaman that uses molasses as its base. And then of course we have the coconut water, which we eat. What is different between the coconut in the Philippines and the Thai is that we have a variety which we call makapuno, which doesn't really have much water.
How about coffee? I have heard coffee from Philippines is one of the best.
Yes, we have a lot of coffee. What is easily available is Arabica, and the most unique, according to the coffee drinkers that I have met, the ones that you see in some of the islands in the south.
What about the famous one that go around the world?
Nowadays, they have become more commercially available. So the Kalinga coffee, the Mindanao coffee, and the Arabica that comes from Batangas coffee.
So how about the alcohol in Philippines? Do you have like the traditional or unique one?
We have alcohol everywhere except in the Muslim areas. And we have rice-based alcohol. We have fruit-based alcohol. We have lambanog, basi. Basi comes from my area. Nowadays, wine made of mango, alcohol made of palm,
This is like a local.
Yes, they are local. They are now, before they were produced for home consumption, now they are being sold in the market.
Philippine people drink a lot, is it?
Oh, the other alcohol that we have a lot of is beer. San Miguel beer is the most famous.
We go to sweet better, I think. You mentioned about sweet.
Sweets?
Yes.
Oh.
Sweet and bakery. Tasty.
Oh.
This is the same kind of thing?
No. There is the very Western type
Yes.
of sweets, cakes. We have a lot of different cakes, but my favorite is what we call brazo de Mercedes, meaning the arm of Mercedes. Mercedes is a name of a lady. It is actually a very fluffy yellow of the egg inside, rolled around a very fluffy white of the egg meringue. That is sort of unique in the Philippines. We have what I love also, what we call food for the gods, which is basically a fruit cake without much fruit, with more of the nuts. So maybe it should be called a nut cake. And then cassava cakes made of cassava. The texture of our cassava cake is made to be a bit rough, because if it is smooth, it becomes a pie. And of course, we love the mango pie. And another one that is unique in the Philippines, what we call the pili pie. Pili is a tree, it's a full-blown tree, and the buko pie. If you go to the areas where there is a lot of buko, especially not very far from Manila, Tagaytay, Los Baños, they have buko pie. But those are the Western type. Then we have the rice cakes. So my favorite with that, of that variety, would be bibingka. It's like a Philippine style hot cake. Thicker, has more egg, and it has a different flavor, and we put salted egg on top, and coconut. We have something else we call sapin-sapin, which means literally layer upon layer. So it's several layered rice pounded, so sticky rice in different flavors, layered one on top of the other, and then again the roasted coconut meat.
Do you have some?
Very colorful. It comes in white, yellow, purple, and orange.
So you have like the sweet that you normally use for the festival, in special festival?
Sticky rice. Most of our sticky rice cakes are not in granules, they're already ground. So and we do not eat sticky rice for our meal. It is only for dessert and merienda food.
So you eat sticky rice with something else, right? Or just sticky rice itself?
It depends, because if it's a flavored sticky rice, it's enough. It's very filling, it's very heavy.
Do you normally cook in combination with coconut milk?
Yes, there are some which have coconut milk. There are some that only have sugar, some that use only water, and then we use molasses to flavor it.
Or
We
other
use it.
flavors in combination with glutinous rice?
Okay, with glutinous rice, we have something we call suman at manga. It's like your mango with sticky rice. But our sticky rice is wrapped in palm leaves, yellow palm leaves, steamed with a little sugar flavoring, okay? And then the mango, and then we love brown sugar. So the brown sugar to put on top.
How about the appetizer? Do you have appetizer?
we do not have really what is appetizer in the Western tradition.
Okay. Can merinda food be appetizer? Or
No, merienda food tends to be sweet, so you wouldn't want that. But what we use as, what you call as appetizer, which we eat as part of the meal, is spring rolls. And we have something we call lumpiang Shanghai, which is basically these small spring rolls with pork inside, ground pork inside.
how about side dish? You have side dishes.
Okay, again, we eat everything together. So since we eat them together, they are not technically called side dishes. But we have what we call achara. Achara is pickled papaya that somehow looks like somtam, but a little bit, but it's vinegar based.
So is achara come in every meal?
No, achara comes with lechon. It comes with dried grilled food because it's a very good counterpoise. Filipinos eat breakfast quite regularly, and we eat traditionally rice with fish, meat, or eggs, and eggs. Long silog, tap silog, hot silog, which basically means for longanisa, which is a sausage, it'd be long silog. That is longanisa, sinangag, which is fried rice, and itlog for egg, and then sometimes they would serve it with tapa. Tapa is a beef jerky, and also with rice and egg. That would be tapsilog. And if it is served with hot dog, it would be hotsilog. And they started developing all sorts of names for different permutations. Now, if a person likes bread, the traditional bread we ate was called pandesal, which is like a bun with a slightly, with very soft inside, slightly harder outside.
For breakfast and then merinda, morning merinda?
Oh, merienda, morning snack.
Yes.
Oh, we eat all sorts of things for morning snack. The healthy ones like to eat fruits, but in general, people eat ensaimada, which is a bun that has, it's like a pastry bun, or mamon. Mamon is like a very light angel cake.
That's really interesting. We have no Filipino food, like variety of it. So how, now it's lunchtime.
Lunchtime, oh, you eat anything, any one of the dishes that are served, and we eat heavy lunch. Afternoon is not as heavy. That we usually have the type of merienda we have for breakfast. We have it also in the afternoon.
Okay.
But for midnight snack, usually something very light.
How about coffee? When
Coffee.
it's from afternoon, like here, or they drink it
They drink it anytime.
anytime? Filipino focusing on any special trend
Food trends?
in food trend?
It's very cosmopolitan now because there are so many Filipinos who are outside of the country. About 10% of our population forms part of the Filipino diaspora. So when they come home, they bring the dishes.
Back home.
Yes, well, now if you ask many of the young people, they will know what tom yum is.
Okay.
and pad Thai, because there have been a few Thai restaurants established.
Filipino foods have been influenced by Western cuisine and also Oriental cuisine.
Oh yes, definitely. Many of our stews, many of the meat stews are influenced by Spanish food traditions. Our noodles are influenced by Chinese culinary arts, and we have a lot of dishes now that are what we call fusion. So we have fusion dishes, so they already incorporate different flavors, which we did not used to use a lot.
The food that you mentioned, or the merenda food and or the main meal food, can you find it on street food?
Oh, we have a lot of street food. Balut is the seminal chicken in the egg. Barbecue is a street food, and of course the fruits that are there, and fish balls. Fish balls, you have the fish balls also. That is a street food in the Philippines.
Her Excellency, we could see your eyes sparkling when you were talking about food.
Oh yes, I love food.
And at the beginning you said you're not really keen on it, you don't really know food much.
Well,
We are impressed.
thank you. I like to eat food, and I like to eat Filipino food, and I actually try a lot of Thai food and compare them, see what are the similarities and differences, and I do that wherever I go in the different countries, because I think that's the best way to find out the different food cultures.
You like Thai food though?
Oh, my favorite Thai food, Mien Kham, yeah, I really like that, and I also like Product Phu. I like that very much. It's unique. I have not seen it anywhere else.
So I have two last questions, Excellency. I would like to know what is the plan to promote Philippine cuisine in any country? You have strategy to promote it.
Well, we'd really like to make Filipino food known to other countries. So we'd like to do it via a video system like yours, and the press and cooking shows. We'd like to show it so that when the ASEAN community is established and there is a freer flow of people, then we would get to know each other's main dishes, so we can make distinctions, because I think for tourism purposes it's very important that we show our distinctive cultural traditions.
Could you tell us how you feel about our AEC cooking program that we come to interview you today?
Well, I hope it will help develop an understanding by the Thai people of the differences and the origins of the different dishes and cooking traditions in the different ASEAN regions. Because it's important for us to understand each other, and I think it is important for us to respect each other's tradition and recognize the origins, the similarities, the differences in our food and culture. The closest to us in terms of culture is the food, because we imbibe the food. Physically, the closest to us is something that we eat.
That's right. Okay, that's the end of interviewing. Thank you very much, Excellency. Thank you.
Thank you.
For your
Thank
time.
you.
We do appreciate